Welcome back to another Hex Devs podcast, the podcast that helps you take your developer career to the next level. I am your co-host, Stephanie.
And I'm Thiago.
And today I am so happy to have not only a friend, but also a student of Get You Senior here. And I am so excited to talk more with Caroline Salib because she is a talented Ruby software developer, and she's also a great mentor. She has helped so many other people in the Ruby community, and she is also passionate about code automated tests and open source projects. She loves the feeling of fixing broken things and building software that will have value to others. Thank you so much for joining us today. Caroline, how's your day going?
Pretty good so far. Weather's good.
Thank you so much for coming. It's always nice to talk to you. We often have some live stream events on Saturdays and some coffee chats, and it's always nice to talk to Carol and some other students and just learn more about what they're doing, what they're struggling with, and just to get to know them and chat. So it's always nice to connect.
Yeah. So, Carol, just to get us started, what is something that you're working on or learning at the moment that you are super excited about?
Well, I'm excited because I start to do this C course, and it was just like the first lesson, but I always wanted to learn C to like maybe in the future read some of the Ruby internals, but also like for gaming development and I don't know, just to remember stuff that I learned in college and it's so long ago. But also I've been working on my first jam and I'm excited about that because I never published, I guess, a jam before. It's called Simple Blog. It's not ready yet. And I'm not mentioning because I want users, just because I used to have blogs using the Jekyll tool. You guys know about it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that in Jekyll you can like edit your markdown files on GitHub and just like push it and it's live. But sometimes I had some frustrations with Jekyll because I would want to like think further about another sessions I would want for my blog, like a homepage or like a portfolio. And I will start thinking on how to do these things with Jekyll, and I'm too lazy to learn about Jekyll internals. I just wanted to use Rails, but I don't want to do a whole MVC project to have a blog. So yeah, I just built this kind of framework to edit markdown files and don't have to use the model part of the MVC in Rails. Yeah, and so I'm instructing this code to this jam, and yeah, it's not working in production. So I have to learn, I don't know, about Rails, how they do generators and stuff like that to fix it, which is exciting. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And I love those types of projects where you try to scratch your own itch and you try to solve your own problems. And so from what I'm hearing, is this kind of Jekyll inspired and you're using parts of Rails, or is that something that sits on top of Jekyll? How does that work?
It's Rails. The jam just have like the code, so you don't have to implement it yourself. But basically you have like a EML file with your posts and then like other markdown files with like the content of each post, and you'll be able to like use tags so you can filter by tags and add some code blocks as well. So like pretty much the things that I liked on Jekyll, but I had to build by myself on Rails.
And what is being the most challenging part for you so far? Is the part of working on it to become a published jam, or is something else that, I don't know, surprised you?
I guess the challenging part is the part I am right now, where like I finished all the work and I published, and then I realized it doesn't work because it doesn't get my local files the way I thought it would. So I have to figure that out. Like I know for sure that Rails does something like that. Copy files, like template files from the gem to the Rails application. It's supposed to be easy. So yeah, I haven't, it's been some time since I touched the gem, but that's the thing I need to fix. And it has been a little bit challenged because I have no idea how to do it. So
And I guess you also have to work a little bit on the front end, right? So maybe some CSS in there, some other stuff that's involved.
yeah, so I used my old Jekyll template as an inspiration.
Mhm.
And also like some other people I admire that have like very simple blog websites. So I have like this template with this basic CSS that it's really, really basic, but like it's supposed to be easy to modify and customize because like if you have experience with Rails, you know how to do that already.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's nice to start with something simple and iterate. For our website, we decided to not use Jekyll and use Ugo. And now I'm at a point where I want to add more functionality, but I don't want to touch the team's code. And I would love to have Tailwind, but then there's some problems with the integration between Ugo and the new version of Tailwind. So now I'm like, should I do something myself or should I just copy or use a different team? So yeah, sometimes it's good to get started simple, but then eventually you're like, oh, maybe I should add more functionality, and then it gets hard.
Yeah. I want to be allowed to dream, like, and dream big with my blog, even though I probably won't change anything on it. But then, like, it's Rails, so I feel like I'm free to do anything I want.
Mhm.
But it's nice to know, like, you have the same pain that I had.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very common. And then you mentioned that you're doing a course about C. What's the name of the course? I'm just curious.
I don't know. It's a course in Portuguese. I don't remember the name, but it's on that Aluda platform.
Mhm.
I have their membership, so I just started just for fun.
Is this something that you do at Shopify at all? Because we know that lots of people at Shopify will touch Ruby and Rails internals, and they also work with either C or a bit of Rust right now with the YJIT
Mhm.
thing going on. But is that related to
No,
your job or?
not at all. Actually, after I start Shopify, I stopped looking a lot of the Ruby and Ruby on Rails internals that I used to because I'm so focused on my little piece of the business that I need to to work on. But yeah, it's mostly Ruby on Rails and React. It has nothing to do with the internals and infrastructure.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, not yet. Maybe. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Maybe in the future, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really cool that we are talking about different interests in projects, because that's the perfect segue to my next question. When I have to say that I was a bit surprised when you joined us at Get You Senior, because I was like, what? Caroline is already a super badass senior developer in my opinion.
I wish.
Um, and one of the things that you said, and I was really curious about, is you said that you have, well, you do have many years of experience, and but you said it's spread experience, and I felt like that was a bit of a challenging thing for you. So maybe you could explain it a little bit more, what you meant, and what is the challenge. Why is it so challenging for you, or was it?
Yeah, like I have 10 years of experience now, but like the first 4 years I was working with .NET and automation, and then I decided to migrate to web development, which was kind of starting from scratch. So I was working with PHP at that time, and 2 years later I realized I wanted to learn Ruby. So 3 years later, actually, I realized that I wanted to learn Ruby on Rails, so I had to change jobs. I ended up moving cities too. I think there wasn't like it wasn't a mental challenge there. Like I went to a mental place that I didn't like. I was feeling very confident, like one of the best in the company I was working on. And then I migrate this new company to start with Ruby, and I was awful. So it was kind of a hard period of time in my career, and I feel like that slowed me down a little bit. So it's a little bit of like changing technology so many times, but also like this new experience, like going from the top to the bottom. Maybe top and bottom is not like the right way to say it, but I went to this place. I wasn't proud of myself. And the last year, like since I heard of WNB.RB and like starting therapy and and like a lot of things happened, and then I started this course. I feel like all of these things together, it started to put me on this place where I'm confident, where like I'm proud of what I'm doing, and I'm doing stuff in and outside of work that I'm happy. And yeah, I'm starting to get this confidence back. And I feel it was difficult. It was a challenge doing all this stuff, all these different technologies, but now I'm back on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good to hear. We're
Yeah.
happy for you.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I get a lot the feeling of, oh, I'm gonna start again from zero. But I think that feeling of starting again, it's not realistic because it's not true. Even though you're starting something new, it's not entirely new. You have lots of experience with other things that will help you navigate this new challenge. And I think it's a transformational period because you were comfortable where you were, but you wanted something more. And the more you go after these challenging things, the more you will feel like, oh, why do I do this with myself? Why can't I just be happy where I am?
Yeah.
But this is just, it's a good thing to have, actually. And I wish change and being brave was something that was more celebrated, especially in our community. There are so many things that we can learn and we can do. So why limit yourself, especially if you're not happy? And honestly, I don't think that feeling of, oh, okay, I got it 100% never goes away. As long as you keep doing challenging things, it never goes away. And
but I do want to say though, like I don't regret any of my decisions, and I do think people need to change jobs and move cities if they think it will be good for their careers. You need to be prepared to being humble and getting help, asking questions, and being uncomfortable what you're gonna learn.
Yeah, absolutely that. I think the part of finding people who at least understand why you are driven to change and seek new challenges is really important, and asking for help and finding your people and getting your support is crucial. I think that's a really important thing to keep you going. Otherwise, it's really hard because, I mean, it's possible, but I think it's really, really hard. And eventually you get tired, I guess. That's why we are so keen in identifying the people that you really look up for and seeing, oh, what is it about them that I really like, and looking for people who can help you navigate this journey. So yeah, that's really cool, and I'm so happy for you because you are here talking with us, and I know that you are scared of doing this. So that's one more thing to. That's one more thing to. Yeah, that's one more thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that after the podcast recording is over.
What you said about, I started out with C#, .NET, right? .NET, and then I changed and did something different. I did the same thing in my career. So I started out with .NET as well, and then I eventually I changed to Ruby, and then eventually I did some Go as well, and did some Elixir. So it's part of the job, I guess, of changing and doing things differently. And I think that people that are very driven, very motivated, it's natural for them to, when you become proficient and things get easy, you just say, oh, let me just start from scratch again and do something hard. Because eventually it's not hard anymore. And so you want to do something different, it gets kind of boring. But you also have to understand, at least for me, so I'm talking about myself now, I had to understand that one of the aspects of being driven is also because I was very hard on myself sometimes. And so I want to always keep getting better and better and better. So this motivated me and got me to do different things, harder things, that kind of stuff. But also I was so hard on myself all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so by being hard on myself, I was driving myself to success, I guess. But at the same time, I would not feel confident. I would not feel good about what I was doing. And so the other aspect that I've learned of that is that you have to kind of learn to work with yourself a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and not be too hard, because that's what Stephanie said, this idea of starting again, right? So you're starting with something new, and you just gotta be okay with sucking and being terrible for a
Yeah.
while. And then I guess it gets even easier to just start again, and then you're
Yeah.
not so hard on yourself, and then it just gets easier to
Yeah,
continue.
because eventually you will remember, oh, okay, this is like a different scenario, but I have done this before. So, and everything was okay. I'm gonna be okay this time as well. But that's why we go to therapy.
Yeah.
Because it is challenging. I had to go through some really deep work because, like my therapist said, Stephanie, you're gonna have a hard time because you are a slave driver
To yourself.
to myself. And I was like, yes, you're right. Thank you for that. And that helped me change things. And now I'm like, okay, so instead of just thinking of results and being so goal driven, I'm now doing the opposite of it. I know where I want to get, but what matters to me is how kind I'm being to myself and how good it feels. And am I doing this because I want to do or because I feel like I should be doing? So yeah, it's interesting how we uncover some of these deep
Yeah.
stuff. Huh?
Yeah, like being kind to yourself, like learning how you can be the best without like we are so hard on ourselves, like for when we shouldn't. And it took me way too long to realize that, and sometimes like I struggle with that. I think most people do, but you need to learn how to be kind to yourself and how to respect your limits, and do not be like a workaholic. I used to be workaholic, and now I'm against it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really hard. Like thank God therapy these days.
Yeah, it's really good, and I think it's an investment in yourself.
Another interesting thing that I've learned is that those things, being kind to yourself, being less of a slave driver, I guess, and just treating yourself in a good way. This is a skill.
Yeah.
This is a skill like any other, and you can learn that skill and you can practice it and you get better. And so it's kind of surprising. Sometimes you think, oh, I'm not good with that. I'm not very kind to myself. I'm not very empathetic to myself or to others, even. But it's just a skill. You can always tweak your mind, I guess, and change how you see others, how you see yourself. So it's just practice, and you got to be open to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the things I like about the course, because there are so many different people that went to the place that I want to go, like, but with different ways, different journeys, totally different journeys. And like you can find the little things that it fits your way to work, the little things that will make you more productive and efficient. And yeah, it is a skill, and you can't like do the same steps that other people did. It's a mix of things that will be you. If you try to beat someone else, it's not you. So
Yeah.
you just need to find the little things that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because one of my concerns was I really wanted to share that. Like, listen, and these were just 10 people that we interviewed, right? But you can see some patterns there. But one of my concerns was I don't want anyone to be comparing themselves, because that's what I used to do a lot. And when you compare yourself, it's a rabbit hole, and you're not, you lose. Whenever you compare yourself to anyone that is not your past self, you're gonna lose. That's a losing game. And I'm really happy that you were able to capture that, because that was one of, at least my main concern, because I was like, I think we gotta prepare people, for that. Don't compare yourselves, because everyone has their own journey, but you get to witness some of that and identify what is valuable to you. And since we're talking about the interviews, one of the things that I really wanted to ask you about Get to Senior is, what was something that really surprised you? Yeah, what was something that you started Get to Senior expecting something, and you ended with a totally different idea?
I think for me, it was like right on the beginning, there was this exercise to get feedback from the manager about, like, there were some pretty words, but like basically what it's missing for me to get to senior. And I just started on the company, so I didn't want to ask that quite yet, because if they didn't hire me to senior, like, I don't know, there must be like a huge gap. But I don't know, I didn't want to ask like so in the beginning. But the way the course would give me tips, like the tips that were in the course about how to ask that in a way that will sound like what you want to sound, right? You're curious, you just want to know how to get there because you want to improve yourself, not because you are asking for a promotion. And so I did that, and I was quite surprised because I had a huge list of the technical things I needed to learn for this new position, and turns out none of them was like what was missing in me. Like I just need to do like some leadership work and do more mentoring, and a lot of stuff that I only get with time now because it's a new company and just started. But now I know what to do, and I know what to focus on, and that was really surprised. Like I don't need to spend hours studying programming. I need to like just take more actions inside of work, and which is actually easily than making a bunch of courses and reading a bunch of books.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think, it's not obvious, and it's really easy to keep kind of trapped in that technical improvement loop, because you don't know what else to do, right?
There's always something else to learn.
Yeah, there's always something else. And I mean, let's be clear, we're not saying you don't need to practice for your tech skills. But there's a point where that's it. Like, you can keep improving, and you can change jobs, but you will feel like you are at the same place. And that's okay if you're okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not, it's not another technical book or course or whatever that is going to help you figure out what is next. And I'm really curious to hear more about your experience talking with your managers in the past, because at least for us, that was also something that we didn't do.
Or sometimes you do it, but
Yeah.
you do it in a way that's not really useful. So you just go there to talk with your manager, thinking that, oh, I just need to talk about what I'm doing. This person just wants to hear if the project is going well or not. So you wouldn't think about it as a opportunity to
The
get
strategy.
feedback and get mentorship as well. Your manager is also there to help you, right? So you can improve.
Yeah, I always asked for feedback, and the feedback was always good. So, which means I wasn't asking for the right feedback. I wasn't being specific. So that was different in this last time because I was specific. I wanted to know like what was missing. Like, am I not there yet? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing about feedback. If you ask, hey, how am I doing at my job? And the person say, oh, you're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. And you're just gonna keep your job, right? So you're not gonna be fired. But
Which is
what we
great.
yeah, you're just doing it right. So you don't need to do anything crazy. Just keep doing it. But if you ask this person in a way that is more specific, and you say, "Oh, I'm here now, and I want to get to senior. What am I missing? What is the gap?" This person will tell you because you're asking for something specific. And another thing that maybe can surprise developers is that being an intermediate developer or just a software developer can be, how can I phrase that? So being an intermediate can be not a dead end, but you can stay as an intermediate forever, depending on the company. There's not necessarily a need to become a senior. So some companies will keep you happily as an intermediate forever as long as you're building the features right, you're doing the correct things. They will just keep you there. But if you want to be a senior, you need a couple of more skills. And one of those skills is leadership and a little bit of business skills as well. And this is surprising to many people. Not a lot of people understand that because if you look at other professions, if you're a very senior engineer, a very senior financial person, naturally you're going to have to lead people and help them and mentor. But we as developers sometimes kind of run away from that. We just wanted to focus on the technical stuff. And then it's very easy to just double down on that, thinking, oh, I'm getting praised by my technical skills. They say, oh, you're so technical, Thiago, you're doing things well, you're delivering the features. So it's very easy for you to just keep doubling down on that. But maybe it's not gonna help you make the transition. So that's the thing that we've learned in the past, and we teach our students to start seeing that it's not just the technical skills, but also the leadership and the business skills and communication as well, which is very important for a senior developer.
Yeah, I guess that's why sometimes you see some senior developers that are not as experts as you would think they would be, but they are like great leads. But it's so easy for one to think that, oh, that folk is a senior because he's a genius. and then I have to focus on code and doing more programming courses and reading more books because I'm gonna be a genius like that folk, and then I'm gonna become a senior. It's so easy to think like that and forget about like all the other things that senior person also do.
Exactly. And it's easy to get frustrated as well because again, you can like compare yourself and think, but why is that person there and I'm not? And but you can't see these non-obvious skills, and you just get more frustrated. And then what happens usually is I will change jobs or whatever. Sometimes, that's the better option for you, but sometimes, most of the times, it's not. And there is also another thing that I see happening a lot, and I hope that is not what is happening with you, but let me know if it is. But some people, if you're not a senior, it's really hard for you to speak up at the meetings, especially at, I don't know, we're designing this new feature, this new integration, whatever, and you have done something in the past, or you have studied that, but you don't feel confident in speaking up because you don't have the title. And I think that's such a detrimental thing to happen for everyone involved. Have you experienced any of that? How has it been for you to share your expertise, even though you are there, and in my conception you are a senior developer, I look up for you, but have you experienced any of that in the past?
Actually, yes, like it was a big change that happened the last couple of months, probably because of the course as well. But I and because I started in a new job, and I think it's easier like to say you don't know something when you are like starting than when you are already like for a long run in another company. But in the last couple of months, I just said, fuck it, like I don't know, and I'm gonna try it anyway. Like if someone makes a question and I don't know the answer, I'm gonna answer anyway. Because many times I thought I didn't know the answer because I wasn't 100% sure, and then like the senior or the staff developer would go there and would like answer my answer, and I would be pissed at myself. So I stopped doing that, and I'm just embracing the fact that I don't know sometimes and I'm wrong, because I get to learn with it. And at least like I feel like I'm being empathetic to the other person, because at least they don't know together. And the one thing like I wish people would don't know together with me when I don't know, that was so confusing. You got it.
I love that. Maybe we can have a session on let's not know together. I like that. I like that. Yeah. That's
you know that the Friends quote, they don't know that we know, they know we know. It's a famous Friends quote. Should be a dev t-shirt.
Okay. Yeah.
They don't know, we know.
They don't know, we know, they know we know.
Yeah.
So in our case, maybe it would be they know we don't know.
They know we don't know.
Oh my god.
No, nobody knows we don't know, including us. Yeah.
Nobody knows anything, to be honest.
Something
Okay,
like
that goes to the list of t-shirts Hexouts should start making.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start.
I would totally buy it.
Start a Shopify
store. So t-shirts.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. No, that's amazing, Carol. And oh my god, I don't know. So I felt like my past me would love to have heard that, someone saying that, because I also experienced that a lot. And instead of just not giving it a shot, it's way better to just say, hey, I am not 100% sure about this, but I think, or I have seen, or I have done this way, or something like that. And I think that people even appreciate when you come from this personal experience, because you're not just telling them what to do, you're saying, this is what has worked for me, this is what hasn't. And I think we miss out a lot when we don't give it a shot, right? So
yeah,
I'm so happy I don't know if you realize how badass you sounded when you said it, but
yeah, I think in the past it was hard for me to move on from a mistake, and it's something I've been working on.
Yeah, we are all a work in progress, and I think the most important is recognizing, right? Okay, now I want to get better at this. The good thing is, the more you excavate, the more you find as well. But really, it's a great exploration.
Yeah, the thing you said about not being able to move on after making a mistake, this is very, I'm not sure if it's common, but it's very relatable, because that happened to me a lot. So sometimes I think about things I did wrong when I was 6 years old or 8 years old, like things like that, because I don't know if this is related or not, but I think one of the reasons for me, I'm not talking about anyone else, but one of the reasons for me is that I was praised when I was young for being smart or doing the right things at school. And then when you grow up, you just expect that to continue. So whenever like I'm at school, I'm doing well, I got an A on a test, and then my mom would say, "Oh, you're so smart, you're so intelligent. That's good. Keep doing that." But then if you do something wrong, then you're then you're stupid, then you're an
Yeah.
imposter, and your parents won't love you anymore and things like that. So at least for me, so I had to
It,
work on that, right?
it is very relatable. Like we definitely don't learn how to embrace our mistakes.
Yeah, I really hope we are sharing all of these experiences and someone is like, "Oh, okay, so it's okay to feel that way." Because it is. It really is. And the more we get curious about it, the better and the further we go. So, Carol, my next question about Get You Senior is what is something that you are doing or you're not doing that and you stopped doing that because you have learned other strategies now with Get You Senior and that you still see people doing a lot? Is there something that rings a bell for you?
Oh, yeah, rings a bunch of bells. But I guess just because like lately I've been having conversation with friends about this, but
Mhm.
like it's the technical focus again, like focusing on courses and because we are so pragmatic, it's so easy to have like an actionable list of books and courses to complete. But
Yeah.
like what people don't do is start a pair programming with someone you don't know about something you also have no idea because you can figure it out together. Like learn about business. What else? Like make connections with people from your team and outside of your team as well, because all of those connections are gold. Oh, and taking actions. Like a lot of people like complaining about I don't know old documentations or like a tool that doesn't work properly. Like you have two choices there. You can be that person complaining, or you can be the person that who fixes it. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel like yeah, we focus too much on finishing courses and books and less about like the I want to say soft skills, but I hate that word.
Mhm.
Me too. But I don't know what to say instead. I just call it professional skills.
Okay, professional skills. That is.
Yeah,
So,
but maybe there
yeah,
is a better term. But I also hate soft skills. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? You clearly haven't done any therapy or anything like that because this is not
yeah,
soft work.
Yeah. We had same conversation on Saturday with someone else, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about that, and they say, "Yeah, soft skill. You're talking about soft skills," and we're like, "No, it's not soft at all. It's very hard as well." So,
it is the right word for it, the right term for it. It's just it's not. It sounds like it is a soft thing, and
Yeah.
in reality, like it's those are really hard things to, really hard
Mhm.
skills to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
They are the hardest because they you can like make a to-do list of like those skills like you can do with courses and books.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah.
only improve with actions and with experience.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Well,
I love hearing that because this is something that we wanted to communicate to people, which is not just the books and the hard skills and all the technical courses, but also communication, connecting with your peers and networking and things like that. And yeah, it is hard for a developer to be doing that. But if you think about it, you're probably one of the few developers that do that. And so it's very easy to get a little better and you're just going to stand out
mhm.
immediately. And so, yeah, it can be a little hard, but at the same time, if you just practice a little bit, if you just start doing it, you get results immediately. So, Carol, after sharing all of those learnings and the things you're trying out and the skills you've learned after doing the course, what is one thing that you've been doing or practicing? Like maybe can you say something you did this week that was different and helped you?
Oh, this week, but it's Monday.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
sorry. Maybe in the past few weeks.
I don't know how much I can talk about work, but I did volunteer to do some things I wouldn't do like in the past because it involves a lot of responsibilities and ownership.
Mhm.
And I would be scared of getting those like with so many other senior and expert developers around me. But now I see them as resource, and I know they. I mean, it depends on your environment. I'm grateful to be in an environment, working in an environment where I know like people are glad to help, and I assume they want to help me. But yeah, so that makes it easier because in the past I have worked in companies where I didn't felt that, and it was super hard to take ownership on things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congrats on doing that. We know it's hard, but
So proud.
we are so proud of you. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to express all the feelings that at least I get when you talk about it, and how you see things differently, how you do things differently. And honestly, you already had all that you needed. I think you just needed a little bit push, and I'm really happy that you said yes to the program, and because you did all the work. You did all the work, and I think that I hope you are celebrating all of this and taking time to reflect on all of that, because it was a lot of work, and I'm really really proud of you, and so proud of you. So happy for you. I'm really really happy for you.
Thank you. I'm happy. I'm happy for me too. Keep giving. But I wish I had this course when I was starting. Like I keep thinking how much things will be different.
Mm-hmm.
But even though like after 10 years of experience, like making this course made me remember of a bunch of things I was forgetting,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't doing anymore because I was, you know, not unmotivated. And yeah, it came in the right time. I'm really happy with the results. Not just waiting for my promotion letter.
We can't wait to see what you accomplish, and I'm sure the letter will come soon. And if it doesn't, let us know, because
Yeah.
we can do something about it.
Yeah. Well, with that, Carol, thank you so much for sharing your expertise here with us, your experience. I can see that you are feeling so much more. I don't even know if it is confident. You just,
Badass.
yeah, you are a badass developer to me right now. You always were, but it's great to see you doing it, and
Progressing.
progressing even more. And if anyone that is listening to this episode is thinking about joining Get You Senior, or if you have experienced any of these situations that we shared here today, we just opened the doors for the next cohort. So if you want more support and accountability, the registrations for the cohort are open. So we will meet on Saturdays during June and July. And the materials for Get You Senior, the self-paced course, is always available. But if you want extra support and accountability, check out hexdevs.com/senior for more details. And hopefully you will get to feel as happy and confident as Carol is feeling.
Yeah.
Or pretending.
Oh, no. I don't think you can fake that. No.
Yeah, we're gonna leave the link in the show notes. And yeah, it was so great to talk to you, Carl, and so great to see you progressing. It's just that's what we wanted to do. We want to see people going out there kicking ass, being great developers, helping the community, helping their teams, making a bunch of money. That's why we started all of it. So yeah, it's so great to see you kicking ass.
Thank you. It was great. And thank you for opening the door for my first podcast recording ever.
Yeah,
Yeah. See, so I want to know, was it that bad?
scary.
Eh, a little bit, but like, at least like I'm grateful it is with friends and like talking with friends. It's easier. Like, it could be hard for me too, though, but it's easier than talking to strangers.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
got it. Yeah. I hope this is just the first one because you did great as
Yeah.
always. And I think you have a lot of expertise to share. So, yeah, I hope this was just the beginning. And thank you so much, Carol. I'm really happy for you. And have a great rest of your week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank